Welcome to another video. To this video, I'm going to show you how to switch out a distributor on a 5.0 liter V8, pushrod V8. Stay tuned.
Music bed.
Alright, so I'm going to be switching out the distributor actually on the Cobra here. So you'll know this is my nephew's Cobra. Holy crap, this seat is slow. I had gotten this Cobra and sold it to him. Oh, it does have a power seat. Looky there. It probably needs to be lubricated. Ah, come on. Have to move it forward because I won't be able to reach. So a lot of these, especially actually probably because the car is off, you know, your seat's not gonna wanna move easy. So let's see. Now that it's running, it's got more amperage or more voltage. It is moving, so cool. He's been having a little bit of issue where it kind of bucks up. You know, he's going and it just cuts out like something like that. And so I think it's probably the pickup coil inside the distributor, and I'll show you once I get to the garage there. Because I had that happen on my 5 liter before. So, oh look, he's here. Hi stranger, say hi to the YouTube people.
How's it going?
Good.
Stealing my car?
I am stealing it, only to work on it. Can you believe it? Follow me to the house.
It's too long to walk. Yeah, I'll push you.
Okay. That happened to my 5 liter before, where you know it was bucking down or it shuts off, and it was a pickup coil inside the distributor. I'm not 100% if that's what is wrong with this one at this point, but I had actually bought that distributor a long time ago for this car. So I figured, well, let's just put that on there. You know, we have it, and then from there we'll check other things like fuel pressure and all that. So let me get set up in the garage, and then I'll show you guys how to do that. Okay, so that's the distributor here on this 5 liter engine. Same thing for the 5.8s. This is the new one that we're putting here. Go ahead and hold it real quick. So this is the pickup coil here. So there's an electric sensor. This is almost like a crankshaft position sensor, camshaft position sensor. So you know, this circle thing has different cutouts, and that's how it tells your coil to fire. So if this thing is not working right, then it's, you know, it's not gonna fire right. So that could be the problem that we're having. We're gonna find out. I'm also gonna hook up, you know, we have the fuel test port here. I'm gonna check the fuel pressure just to make sure it's not fuel related. Different things though that it could be what it's going on. You know, we can have like a bad throttle position sensor or things like that. So, but we're just gonna start with this part first. So this is your distributor. You have a 1/2 inch hold down there. It's just a bolt with the little metal kind of like horseshoe looking thing, and that pushes down on this piece here to hold it on the block. So what you want to do first things first, this is the connector here. So we're gonna unplug the connector, but take your distributor cup off, and what you want to do is have enough slack on the wires here where you can move this out of the way a little bit. So just, you know, leave it there. because we have to pull this whole thing out. So and then the other thing is here we're gonna check, we're gonna know where the rotor is pointing, right? So this is the main thing you want to know, where this rotor is pointing. Know where the rotor is pointing because this is going to reference. So right in the middle, make a little mark where it's pointing. That way when we put the new one back on, you make sure that this is pointing in that same spot. That's pretty much the main thing you want to do. The other thing you want to do is mark the actual base of the distributor, right? So you can mark it on the bottom, but it's hard to get down there. What I'm gonna do is mark right at the center of this screw is, and let me make sure that the new one has the same thing. So has the same screw, same thing. So you want to mark that. And so what I'm gonna do is mark that here to the intake right there. So that's gonna make sure that I put the bottom, the base of the distributor in the same spot and the rotor pointing at the same spot. So when I put the cap, it's gonna be firing in the right cylinder. So that is the main thing you want to do there. If you don't do that and you just kind of throw it in there, it's probably not gonna be right and it's not gonna be firing right. You're gonna have backfires and all that stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull this plug. There's a little tab right here. You just unplug it, so not too bad there. And then I did have some tools, but I left them somewhere. So I'm gonna get a little 1/4-inch drive ratchet with a swivel, put on the bolt down here on the hold down, and then just loosen it up. So if you're changing the timing or adjusting the timing, you would pretty much do the same thing. Well, not the same thing. You will loosen this bolt down here, and then you can actually move the distributor. This is really tight, so I don't think it's ever been off. So let me get this loosening and then I'll show you taking it out. Okay, so I went ahead and got this. This is the hold down, so it's just a little piece of metal with the bolt. And so you do have to take it all the way out if you're removing this. If you're only changing the timing, you just loosen it so you can turn it. But another thing with these cars, if you are gonna adjust the timing, there's this little spout here. You have to remove this little piece, because if you just move the distributor with that piece on there, it's never gonna adjust the actual timing. The computer's gonna change it. So you have to remove that, start it, adjust it, shut it off, put that little spout back on. So just so you know. But once that's off, you're pretty much just gonna pull straight up, and that's it. So we have the new one right over here. Let's just make sure. So what I'm gonna do is just switch this to the new distributor. Once we install this, we can change back to this new part. This is just what holds on the distributor cap anyways. But since I did the marks on this one, that way, you know, I can transfer the marks to the new one. So there's just a couple of screws here. Same with the old one. Okay, so I'm just gonna put this on this new one here. So when you put this in here, it only lines up one way. So if you have it off, it's not like you can put 180 degrees off, because the bolts will be off if you would do that. Another thing to note, if you have, or if you're ordering an MSD distributor or something like that, the gears are different depending on the cam you have. So you want to make sure you get the right gear, because if not, it's going to chew up the actual gears on the cam. And so you want to make sure, if you're doing an aftermarket distributor, to get the right gear. I think they usually ask you if it's like an iron gear or a steel gear, just to make sure that if it's right. And then we're going to transfer this rotor, and this one you just pull it out. So what we're going to do when we put in the car, remember, this line has to go to the intake, and then the rotor has to be lined up to this little mark. As long as we do that, then it should start right up, no problem. Okay, so when you're gonna put it in, make sure that mark is aligned to the intake, right? And then you're gonna move the rotor here just slightly to let, there's 4 little squares on the bottom of the shaft, and that has to line up with the oil pump. And so you move it, as you're pushing it down, the rotor is gonna move. So like there, it's quite a bit off if you see that. So I'm gonna pull it up and then go to the next, move it to the next little slot, and that way it's lined up here on the cap. So just keep that in mind. So when you do that, you want to line that up and then line that mark on the back. But if it's way off, take it out and then move it a little bit, and when it goes down, it usually turns like maybe like 1/8 of a turn. So this is all the way in there, so I'm gonna just put the hole down there. At this point, you can put the cap on and start it up. Okay, so now that the distributor is bolted down, I'm just gonna put the cap back on, click it in there, and then plug it in. So this should be pretty straightforward. Make sure it clicks, put the little Christmas tree fastener down. It's good there. So in theory, this should start right up. So let's see if at least it starts right up. The keys are right there. Go ahead and start it. All right, so that started right up. Let's go take it for a little drive, right? Because it used to do it right away.
Yeah.
Oh, I moved your seat. So. Okay, so we're gonna find out if it's still broken or if that fixed the problem. When he was going, it would just kind of buck, rap, that, bah. Sounds good so far.
Yeah, because it will start walking like that at around 2,800 RPMs or 3,000 RPMs. But it seems to be fine.
Seems to be fine, okay. So if we're going further, we better put seatbelts on before we get the popo on us. We're just gonna go around the neighborhood so we can go on the street that's a little bit higher speed limit, so we can rev it a little bit higher. We're not gonna smash or anything, but we just want to make sure that, if it's fixed, it's fixed. If it's not fixed, it's not fixed. Still doing it?
Yeah, still doing it.
Okay. Alright, so that's what it was doing, where it's just kind of like... Is it only with the AC on?
Let me turn the AC off. I wonder if it's with the AC.
Go that way.
Alright, turn on the AC.
One day and second. Should be good for second.
What if it doesn't work first? Kinda wanted to right though.
Huh? Okay, well that's kind of weird. Seemed like it did it that one time, but you also downshifted, so I don't know if it was just bad downshifting there. I'm gonna blame the driver on that one, not the car.
Blame the driver.
Blame the driver. I mean, there it revved like almost 4. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Sounds good so far, but when we get back there, I am gonna check the fuel pressure just to make sure that it's not running low fuel pressure. You know, that could be a problem. As is right now, it seems like it's running okay, but I don't know. We did have that little thing over there, so let's just check fuel pressure and then we'll go from there. Or cancel. All right, let's go ahead and try. Pop the hood. Okay, so anyway, so that's what it was doing, where it kind of was bucking. So again, you know, that could be like something else, but that's how you change the distributor. So if you need to do that in your car, you know, just follow that video or this video to check that. Other than that, I'm gonna check fuel pressure on this, which you hook up your meter to this port, and then if we do find something else that's wrong, then we'll do another video on it. But anyways, thank you for watching. Any question, comments, leave them below. Subscribe to the channel. We'll see you next time.